Hello, this is my, I think, 5th video log. My name is James Darby, and today we're going to be talking about our newest book that we're reading, The Essay. And so, I'm going to take a little bit of a different turn on this video. Instead of going through and doing a direct summary and like a bunch of different themes, this time I'm going to really focus in on one specific theme. But first off, let's just talk about what I've read so far. So in The Essay, we're back in a rural area, and so like a country location, country setting. It's a poor family. The main character's name is Jimmy Lee, and they all live on Red Dog Road. Jimmy Lee is one of 3 brothers. The oldest, he's off. He's currently in prison. The second, he's working at circus, or he's a carny, and Jimmy Lee is still in high school. And so the biggest thing that I want to focus in on is that, first off, Jimmy Lee, he's constantly bullied, he's picked on, he's mainly ignored. That's the biggest thing. He's very invisible walking through the high school hallway simply because people don't want to associate with him. 1, because of his last name, Hickam, and 2, because he's a dogger on Red Dog Road. So people look through him because of things that he's attached to, stigmas that he's attached to. And so the biggest thing that what I'm going to be talking about in this vlog is a source of identity. And this is really important because does identity correspond to invisibility? And so like what you identify yourself as, or what you identify yourself with, what you attach yourself to, and what do other people attach yourself to, does that cause invisibility? And this is very important because when Jimmy was, when he was just a Hickam and he was just a dogger, people looked through him, they didn't really see him. Number 2, when he went and joined football, it turns out that he started being recognized a little bit more. However, once again, he was invisible mainly because the only thing they recognized him as was a football player. He was still a Hickam, but he was a football player. And so people would say, "Nice job, Jimmy, nice playing out there," and they would pat him on the shoulder without looking at him, simply because they just recognized him as a football player. And then another thing that wasn't so much attached, but that he realized was a talent or gift, was his writing. And that went a little bit undercover because a lot of people don't really, they don't really witness the writing up until he wins the competition. But then, like, people, they attach writing to him later on in the book. And so I think all these books really do relate to identity and finding yourself. And The Invisible Man was a big one because The Invisible Man, you don't even know the narrator's name, who the main character's name is, but they take it to the point where they give him an even separate identity, a whole new name even. And so like he was invisible before, but then he's still invisible after, because identity can cause invisibility corresponding on who views you and how they view you, and it's all perspective based on your identity and what you attach yourself with. And so, yeah, so attach something for identity. And in the real world, these are different things. Like in the real world, pro players, they'll only be known for their sport, right? They're not really known for anything else. That's why it's a big deal when you see like, oh, blah blah, graduated from college with like a law degree. You're like, wow, I didn't even know that, because they're so known for their sport, and the invisibility is there, except for everything except for basketball. Like, so a pro basketball player would only be known for basketball, or a football player only be known for football, and the stigma behind football and stuff. And so in another book, Hillbilly Elegy, one thing that was not attached to the main character, because he really retained his identity in what he wanted it to be, was he did not want to be known as like a Yale student, a Yale graduate. And even though that helped a lot, and definitely for his employers, he was known as a Yale graduate, but he really retained his identity and really found who he was beyond that. And so that's been my vlog so far. It's really focusing on identity and what identity means. There's a couple connections there, and thank you for tuning in. Bye.